Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Joni, and today I'm going to show you step by step in real time how to paint this cactus field in the desert with the sun going down. So I've got a black primed 9x12 flat canvas board, and I'm going to begin the sky using light blue permanent by Liquitex Basics. I'll be using some neon yellow, some neon orange, some Hooker's Green hue by Grumbacher, and you can also use sap green, using some turquoise, a little bit of yellow ochre, and some light blue violet, and some neon pink. I may also add some of my neon red. So I'm going to begin by just squeezing out a little bit of my light blue permanent. I'm going to take my large flat brush, it's a number 11, get a little bit of water on my brush, and I'm just going to begin very lightly pulling in sections and sweeping, giving it an upward movement, pulling it up towards the top of the canvas. Now, horizon is going to be right about here. You never want to go halfway. That's a really good tip for you guys when you're creating landscapes. You want to go a little bit more sky to land or vice versa. So I'm just going to cut across right here. So this here is all going to be our sky, and down here is going to be our little cactus desert. Okay, so I'm going to pick up a little bit of white now, and I've just got a little plate here from earlier. I'm going to start adding a little bit of white in here. And I'm going to take some white with a little bit of pink or neon red, orange, a little bit more white. You want to be generous with your white when working on a black canvas especially. And I'm just going to start putting in these little darker areas here, like this. Pull, pull and sweep. Right away I'm going to take orange, yellow, and white, and we're going to have some heat right in here. And that'll be my first layer. I'll be building that up after by adding some more, because the acrylic paint underneath is black and that's pretty dominant, so that's going to overpower these colors, and we have to do this in layers. I'm going to take those colors again, and I'm going to pull 1, 2, 3 lines like that, and then make it lighter here. I'm going to wash my brush out. And I'm going to add some of my light purple violet and a little bit of neon red. This will give me a dark smoky purpley color. And a bit more of that. Okay. Now I'm going to take a softer brush and blend that. So I just got this oval type of blending brush, and I'm just going to really lightly dust back and forth. You want it to look sweepy, so I'm going to lightly pull up and create that soft feeling of the clouds sweeping up. Just light little circles right in here. And then I'm going to pick up some more paint. I'm going to take that light pinky orange color. I'm going to come right in here. And just start laying some layers in. Do light little taps as well. Little tap like that, and then gently pull and sweep. Okay, I'm going to take some more of that neon red with my light blue violet, and it's got a nice smoky sunset color. Got a hint of that orange left over in my brush too, and I like that. A little bit right in here. A little flick. Just set that there for now. I'm going to switch over to a smaller brush. So I've got a little, you guys have seen me use this one lots, my little flat square brush. I'm going to get it wet. I'm going to take a little bit of white, some more yellow, and some more of my neon orange. Get it on the tip of my brush like this. And very lightly. A little bit more yellow. Looks so pretty blended in with that. So you have that yellows blending in with the blue a little bit. Looks really pretty. Then we can add a little bit right up in here. Making that a little bit lighter. So I'm just taking a bit of yellow and white. Now what I want to do is switch over to a little fan brush. I want to create a little bit more light, wispy clouds. So I can do that with a fan brush. Now I just got it a little bit wet. And I want to take some white with both orange and neon red. Okay, so I'm going to go right down here. I'm going to pull, sweep, pull and sweep. You can add a little bit down here as well. A lot of people don't realize how effective a fan brush is for creating pretty skies. I'm going to take a little bit of my, without washing my brush off, my light blue violet. And I'm going to add a few little lines and dabs down in here for some more shadow. Maybe one right in here. A little bit right in there. Okay, so I think I'm happy with that for now. I'll leave that and start working on the foreground. So I've got a small little stippling brush. It's kind of like a mop brush, but it's stiffer. So I'm going to just tap in here to my yellow ochre, and I'm going to start applying small taps, leaving some spaces for some shadows. So it's going to look slightly green, different tones. And then we'll start some other layers in here. These are going to be a bit bigger, so I'm going to switch over to another brush. I think I'll go back to this one. And I'll just start lightly doing this. So you can use, to make smaller ones, you could kind of squish your brush on one side, and if you want to make larger ones, just apply the paint like that. By turning your brush this way, you'll make larger, so on and so on. So I'm going to add some more now by taking some yellow ochre, a little bit of white, a little bit of orange. Make some of these a little bit brighter. Just tap in here a little bit like this. Just a little bit like that. Okay, now I'm going to switch to another brush. I've got a small filbert here, And I'm going to take my sap green with some yellow ochre, a little bit of my neon red just to tone it. Mix it. And then I want to have it on the end of my brush like this. And we'll just start making little taps like this. These are some cactus in the background. And then we've got, I've actually got one darker one that's closer to us, and I'm gonna add it right here. And I know I'll have to go over this to make it a little bit darker. And then back to some lighter ones in the distance. Now I do have some burnt sienna here, some phthalo. I think I want this to be a little bit darker, so I'm actually glad this is handy that I have these out here. I'll list all the colors below in the description for you guys. So I just took burnt sienna, some phthalo, and I'm going to go over this to make it more in shadow or silhouette, just slightly here. Just a couple like that. Alright, and then while I have this color on here, I'm going to actually just bring some of these where they start, sort of the stems of them right down lower, and I'm going to start tapping in some of this blue with that yellow ochre, and then I'm going to take white with that peachy color. Maybe we'll add, let's get a nice deserty sand color going. I'm just going to take my brush, I'm going to hold it flat like this, and then lightly slide my brush around. We'll have a few little patches back there. Let's get it to be a little bit more pink. Let's just take that now, flat. Okay, without washing my brush, I'm going to take some of this sap green, turquoise, and white. And there's going to be one little cactus. Now this one, it has a bit of this violety blue tinge to it, so I'm going to do that again. Do one here, and the filbert brush is a great brush for this shape. A little bit more white, a little bit more blue. So they kind of look like flower petals. I'll do one larger one right here. And you want them to be lighter on the inside. Then around the edges they're going to be a little bit darker. And let's have one right here in the foreground. It goes right off the canvas like that. And then some that are turning, going all different directions from different sides. Oh, we could even take a little bit of yellow ochre and make one sort of a different tone. Maybe here, that, another one down here, and then another sort of a turquoise one right in front of that one. You can layer them. Little ones that are farther away. Kind of like that. I just want to go back to this cloud now that it's had a little bit of time to dry. Pick up some pink and white and add a little bit more. And then I want to take my orange and I'm going to go right back in here and lighten these up all back there. I'll take a combination of neon yellow and orange. And a bit like that. Soften this with a little bit of pink. A little bit of that neon pink, layering over some of these darker areas. Just enhancing some colors up here a little bit more. Alright, so I want to outline some of these cacti and then add some of those little spiky things on them, and then we'll add some flowers. But first I want to come in here. I need a little bit more of my light blue violet. And I'm going to squeeze out, we're going to need this color for our flowers. So I'm going to just put it right over where I have that neon red. And I'm going to take some of my light blue violet with this pinky mixture, and I'm going to add it down in here again, make this show up a little bit better. Just the sand area down here. And I'm going to come inside some of these cacti. Some just with the blue violet, and then some areas we have a little bit more white inside. And right here, add a little bit more shadow. A little bit more. Okay, now I need to find a liner brush. I've got my long one here, and I just got it wet, and that got all the bristles nice and tight together. What I want to do, excuse me, is take some of my burnt sienna, my sap green, a little bit of phthalo blue. We just want a dark color here, and I'm going to outline some of these, and then add little dots and dabs, as I always say. Wherever we need to have some shadows, more shadows and silhouette. We'll just go around the outside with a few different colors now. Yellow ochre and burnt sienna. Make some of these look a little bit warmer. And then go around this one down here. I'm going to take some white with some neon orange and give some of these a little bit of a glow from that sunset. And then we'll start coming in with our flowers. So for the flowers, I'm going to take some white, some neon pink like this, and kind of push and wiggle. Load up our brush the same each time, because we need a little bit of white in there. And then I'm going to push and wiggle. Actually add a little bit more pink to that one. A little bit there. And then some smaller ones. And some of them are going to have a warmer tone to them, so I'm going to just pick up a little bit of neon orange, a little bit of neon red. Little ones back there. Aren't those pretty? So I'm going to add a few of these little lines, little, it's like quills, little sharp pokey things. Some will be kind of on the whiter side, and some will have darker shadow-like ones, so darker colored ones. And then I'm gonna, for dark color, just take phthalo blue and burnt sienna. I'll do a few little lines for those. I'll take some of my burnt sienna actually and just bring it around some of these flowers just to make them pop out a little bit more. Add a darker cactus leaf in there. There's a few that are a little darker. And then I'll grab a little bit of my light blue violet here. Take a little bit of white. So it's not totally in silhouette. I'm going to soften it a little bit. As I add the last touches to this painting, I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time very soon in another video. Bye for now.